AITA for triggering a girl's eating disorder by ordering a salad? I am part-timing in an IT company that is very close-knit. My boss Steven and his wife were always sweet. It was my first month and it was my boss's birthday week, so he and wife Melissa were kind enough to include me in this fancy dinner they were taking everyone to. A week prior to the dinner, Melissa added everyone to a group chat and asked whether we had any suggestions and where to eat. I told her that I am fine with anything as long there are vegetarian options available, or at least chicken. They brought their daughter Steph, 15, to the dinner, and she is a sweet little girl. Now Steph was really interested in me and she kept on asking me questions about how I look the way I look. Now I am short, 5 feet, but can be somewhat deemed as fit to today's generation. I was transparent with her and told her that I don't restrict myself to certain foods but rather eat everything in moderation. Plus I have a plant-based diet and home-cooked meals, so that helps, and I also lift weights. Now Melissa overheard our conversation partially. She pulled me aside and told me that Steph was recovering from eating disorder, so she encouraged me to be honest with her and not lie to her and not to order anything that screams diet. Quote, "When I saw the menu, there were little to no vegetarian options available. It didn't have anything for me. I was very disappointed and made a comment that, oh wow, there are no vegetarian options." Melissa chimed in and said that eating meat once in a while won't affect my weight. Now, when I say plant-based diet, it's not that I don't eat meat, but I only eat chicken maybe once a week as a side dish, and certain types of fish occasionally, but other than that I mostly eat vegetarian dishes. My food habits are not for my weight, but for my religion, culture. It has nothing to do with my weight. When the waiter came in, I was still glued to my menu when all the others had already ordered. Melissa said that oh, she will have the duck too, and I interrupted and said that no, I will have the garden salad. I hate salads, but there were no other veg options. Melissa got quiet. After a few minutes she told me that I shouldn't have lied and lead on her daughter if I was going to order a skinny salad and starve myself. She said that I am just like those IG influencers who lie to impressionable young girls about their food habits and bodies, and I just proved that by ordering a salad after giving her daughter a "don't restrict yourself" speech, and I probably triggered her eating disorder. I tried to explain that I only ordered a salad cause there was no other option in the menu for me, but then she said that I should have just sucked up and eaten the damn duck as it isn't going to affect my weight, but then again I corrected that it is a religious thing and not a diet thing. She said that if I eat chicken then obviously I would eat other animals too, and I was just putting up an act. It was horrible. She completely tore me down and I immediately left. Edit 1. My boss tried to calm her down, but she got pissed off and started making personal attacks on me on how I am just trying to sleep my way through the job as I don't look like an engineer. And also how I am obsessed with my looks and weight and is also affecting her child. Edit 2. I am a Hindu and half Brahmin in that. I didn't want to mention this, but people are curious, so that's the only reason. It is okay to eat chicken and fish here, but eating any other animal is frowned upon, and eating beef is considered a sin. So it's not that I stopped eating other meat. I have never eaten anything other than chicken and fish in the first place. NTA. With the way she was carrying on about food and weight, it sounds like she was making it a bigger deal than what the daughter was. You did the right thing for you. Definitely NTA. NTA. They have no right to dictate what you eat. If their daughter gets triggered by someone else eating a salad, then that daughter needs more help than she is currently getting. You are not the in any way. NTA. If her daughter was at a stage in her recovery that she couldn't handle someone ordering a salad in front of her, she shouldn't have brought her. I'm sure she's going through a lot with her kid. But that was totally out of line. No. Op. You are going to order the duck and like it. No salad for you. And nobody believes your food choices are religious and culture-based. You are just putting on an act, and lying about it. To paraphrase the wife of your boss. What the holy hell? Good for you for up and leaving. I don't know what your next step is, though. A visit to HR? This is just so damn bizarre. At least you are only a part-time worker. NTA, and how dare they put their daughter and her future problems on you. NTA. Coming from someone who is currently struggling with an eating disorder. You did nothing wrong. Eating disorders are extremely complicated and can be triggered by literally anything. But that's not your responsibility. Her daughter needs to find ways to cope with it. And the mother should put her in therapy. If she isn't already. Because not everything is going to cater to someone just because they're in recovery for a mental illness. NTA. Eating a salad is not a statement on whether or not you're on a diet. It's possible to just eat a salad with no ulterior motive. I don't diet and I eat salads when the mood strikes. Your reason is even better. The fact that your boss's wife would try to call you out about this publicly is insane. I would have left too. NTA, but I would talk to your boss because this is very disturbing. You asked from the beginning. Often the place has vegetarian or chicken items you were honest about. Your eating habits to the daughter. The fact that his wife thought she could decide what you eat and disregarding you religious stands on food and also more or less insulted you, and your professionalism is really not okay. The mother is the kid's problem. Don't say that to your boss thou. NTA. What on earth is wrong with Melissa? Your food choices are literally none of your business. You might be on a strict diet for medical reasons, or have religious restrictions, or have allergies. Or you might just genuinely like or dislike certain foods. Regardless, it is absolutely none of her business. The comments she made afterwards about sleeping your way to the top are so out of line. Did your boss or the others at the dinner apologize or speak to you about this afterwards? NTA. You made this clear beforehand and had asked for a place that has vegetarian options. They chose not to, and you were forced to order salad to keep up with your religion. Also, it's wrong to assume that you eating a salad would affect her daughter's food choices. Just chiming in as someone who recovered from anorexia nervosa when I was in my early 20s. This is so telling of what life must be like with that woman for this girl. The fact that she thinks she can control what you, an adult woman, are eating speaks worlds about how this woman likely behaves with her daughter. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if it were a major contributing factor in the girl's eating disorder. Just to break down the red flags I see here. 1. This woman has willingly brought her recovering daughter into an environment with triggers. So, no real awareness or accountability for how her decisions are affecting her daughter in this situation. Point 2. Instead of not bringing the girl into this environment, which would be her responsibility as a parent, she places the responsibility on you by insisting you order within parameters that suit her idea of what would not trigger her daughter. Point 3. She didn't consider your needs at all when choosing a restaurant, and then also assumed your reason for avoiding meat was for weight reason. So, more demonstrations of self-focus without consideration for the internal realities of others. Really. This is such a bummer for that poor girl. In my personal experience, that kind of controlling behavior with a lack of real empathy from a apparent as exactly what causes eating disorders in children. And the information you gave is probably some of the best advice you could give an eating disordered person. In my opinion. As a recovered person, I would say very similar things about my own healthy eating. NTA. You shouldn't have to participate in, accommodate for someone else's situation. You order what you want and it's their problem how they feel about what you want to eat. What are you supposed to do? Pig out on a big plate of ribs just so this kid doesn't feel bad? Nah. Fuck that. NTA. You're free to order what you want without having to modify your diet for the boss's child. NTA. And now we all know why her daughter has an ed. NTA. With such a controlling mother. I just wonder how the daughter developed an eating disorder. But the daughter's disorder and triggers are hers to manage. Surely Melissa's behavior is far more triggering to her daughter than you ordering a salad. I really hope your boss apologized during the event or later. You should edit your post to include the other details you have in the comments on the other things Melissa said to you. NTA. I have an eating disorder and would never expect people around me to order anything other than what they want. Maybe mom shouldn't have taken her teenager out for a meal with a bunch of people if she was recovering from an eating disorder. Whatever the fuck that means. And the way mom kept speaking for you and trying to order for you. No wonder her kid has eating issues. Sue NTA. So, she stereotyped you in a very misogynistic way. You don't look like an engineer. You're sleeping your way through the job. Etc. Then started berating and insulting your eating habits. While simultaneously using her daughter as the scapegoat. She sounds wonderful. I don't know if you could file a lawsuit. As it was outside of work. But I'd honestly quit and write some really poor reviews of the company. If you decide to stay and she starts bringing stuff up at work. A nice trip to HR with an harassment claim will surely get the ball rolling. NTA. May I ask what your religion is? NTA. Melissa sounds unreasonable and perhaps unhinged. If her daughter is that fragile, then why on earth bring her to a restaurant in the first place? You had explained to Melissa that you would like a restaurant that had vegetarian options, but for whatever reason they chose a place that didn't. The things you said to her daughter were all very positive and healthy. It was rude of Melissa to try to dictate your order. Were the other guests instructed not to order anything that screamed diet, or just you? And what if someone else had been on a diet and ordered the salad? Would they have been berated? All this suggests to me Melissa had an issue with you long before this dinner and perhaps has body issues of her own that she has passed down to her daughter. Her personal attacks on you seem like they were floating around her brain for a while and she simply used her daughter's supposed eating disorder as an excuse to lash out at you. I rather wonder if she didn't specifically choose a restaurant with non-vegetarian options. You were invited to dinner as a guest and there is nothing at all wrong with ordering your preferred meal just as everyone else did. Melissa was wrong to single you out and demand you order duck or anything else. It may be time to find a new job. NTA. You asked for vegetarian options at the restaurant. The restaurant they chose only had salad as the vegetarian option. You didn't lie to her daughter and you weren't trying to be an influence on her daughter at all. She is the off for berating you for your food choices. NTA. Melissa chimed in and said that eating meat once in a while won't affect my weight. Some people are like this, they relate everything to weight. It seems like Melissa is a bit obsessed. TBH. I probably triggered her eating disorder. Or maybe she didn't, and seeing how Melissa can't even fathom the idea of someone regulating what they eat for reasons other than weight control, I would not really treat anything she says about someone having an eating disorder at face value. Please don't take this to mean you should assume the doubter doesn't have one. She still might.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.